Rainy wood, rainy wood, rainy wood. I'm here. I'm so sorry. My camera was being weird. I apologize on behalf of my own electronic equipment. Go ahead and, oh my God, unmute yourself and then turn on your camera. You can hear me and see me, but I can't hear you or see you yet. There you go. You got the mic. All right, do the
Okay.
camera.
Okay.
Ah, hot diggity dog.
Oh, there you are.
Hello.
I was like, she
Are
forgot
you
about me.
No, I don't forget about anybody. No, I was just having like my camera well, I mean, even now we're rewatched the recording with this. Like I went to go turn on my camera after it said that it needed to be reset, and then it just went blank. And I was like, thank you. I have no idea. So if for
Oh,
some reason something weird goes on, just know. I mean, it never does, but if it does, we'll continue this. I may just have to reset something. I did an update earlier
okay.
this morning and apparently it's having a stroke. So um just stay with me for a second. I'm going to take about 10 seconds and I'm going to have a calm down moment. So get out of my panic of stressing
Yeah,
out about that.
I was kind of in panic mode too. I was like, where is she? I was like emailing you and calling you.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're here. We're here. So hang on. We obviously have our whole time. So hold on. Hang on. So just breathe with me. Breathe with me. I like your shirt, by the way. I was going to wear
Oh,
camo today.
thank you.
You're welcome. Hang on. The more I live out in the middle of nowhere, the more I have an appreciation for camo. Um, hang on. Why are you showing me all that? Hang on. But y'all are more like Texas, not Georgia, right?
Yeah, Texas.
You are. Oh, that's you. Okay, so somebody just showed me my friend online that is essentially he goes through and he clears trees and he clears property, but then he teaches people how to reforest them properly so that way your land can get better. And then he also talks about all the medicinal plants that are on there. He's called the American Forester. And somebody just flashed me his profile and he's coming over to my house from Georgia to Texas. And I go, what? And they keep showing me both the states, and Georgia has a particular feeling about it, but you feel more like
Yeah,
Texas. Yeah, and so that's
yeah.
why I said you're more Texas, right? Not Georgia. And tell me, hold on. More trees out there. Where are these more trees at? Hang on. Give me a second. Somebody is burning wood. Okay. So maybe there's like a burn pile going. Um, hold on. Do you have a house on like a pretty decent sized lot, but there are neighbors around?
Um, yeah, I don't like know where if you're talking about like burning wood, that's like where I used to live.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let me tell you what somebody's doing. So they just went and they picked up burning wood, or not, they didn't pick up burning wood, but they picked up wood to put outside or like in a burn pile or something. Or maybe even this could be, like I use my burn pile also to roast marshmallows. Maybe not the best thing as far as chemically goes, but always an opportunity. But they're showing me throwing these sticks or throwing this wood and doing this, and you can hear them. And I said, "You don't have neighbors? That's legal in your area?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, it's fine, it's fine." And they're talking about, so I would even have to say that they're either reliving memories or they're trying to talk about where you used to live and what you used to do as well, where you were at. And tell me,
Yeah. Yeah, I used to live in East Texas. Like I think
oh,
I'm yeah, I just moved back here like a year ago, like in March or February, March. But we used to always burn our trash and we always had like huge burn piles.
mm,
Yeah.
that's why. That's why. And so if any
But
tree fell
but
or anything like
but
that, you cut up.
James has never been there. Like he was already gone. He's never
No,
been.
that's no,
Maybe
they
he was
go.
watching me do that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, they
Yeah.
watch you do that. They watch you do everything. And even the other thing too is, so when you cross over, you can create your own version of reality as well. Okay, so essentially, whatever your version of heaven is. So I would even say while you're burning trash, while you're throwing these sticks or wood or whatever it is on the burn pile, he's probably walking around with you doing it too. And so he's
Oh
letting you
my
know
gosh.
that yeah, that in those moments when that was going on, I was still with you.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. So just wait and hold on. Let me see. Did you move? You didn't go like Dallas, though. I mean, did you go more Dallas area now?
Oh, no, I was in Dallas, but then I was in East Texas,
Oh,
and
you
now I'm
were.
back in West Texas. Yeah.
And where? Where are you at now?
West Texas?
Oh, you went out there. Ah, okay. Because I
Yeah.
asked him, I said, "So where is she at now?" And he goes, "Oh, something, something." And he shows me Dallas. And I said, "So did she go to like Houston, Beaumont? Because that's where most people go, when they move back down." And he goes, "No, no, no." He says, "Dryer, dryer, dryer." And he says, "Not Austin though."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
it's really dry here.
okay, okay. So are you more like hang on, hang on. Did you make it all the way out to like Midland, Odessa?
Yeah, I'm in Midland.
Oh, you are. You're out there. Okay. I used to live
Yeah.
in San Angelo.
Oh,
And
wow.
so,
Okay.
so an hour away. I said, "Where at?" I said, "Did she go to Abilene? Did she go to San Angelo? Did she go to Miles? Like how far out?" He goes, "No, no, no." And he says, "Remember," and he's making me hear the conversations of I was out there in 2011 when like the oil boom hit. And so all the people were coming and going to Midland, Odessa. And so he's talking about that. And so I would have to say James is even here with you.
He's
Okay.
here?
Yes. It's everywhere. So let
Yeah.
me tell you how this works. I'm gonna walk you through everything. So, well, let me tell you how channeling and how our session works, and I'll show you some more stuff on like how we can see all this stuff. So essentially, when we're going through and we're channeling, they come through because they love you. They're connected to you, and we're saying, "I love you so much. Can you please come over, hop in Amy's brain, and play with it and use it like a computer?" Also, I want to let you know there's a cat hair on my nose somewhere. So, and I can't get it and find it. So if you see me doing
Oh,
that,
okay.
that's what's up. Okay. The second thing is when they come in, they use my brain like a computer, but they use your thoughts, your feelings, your emotion, your energy to kind of like power it. So when he's popping in my brain, the only things that he can use to talk about his life, your life, what will happen, what is happening, or what did happen are things that I've personally seen, felt, and experienced before. Okay. So I'm from Texas. I still live in Texas. I don't believe in snow. I haven't really been above, Oklahoma. And so
Yeah.
essentially, if you ask me something like, what did our home look like on, I don't know, Michigan Bay or the Bay of Michigan? I don't know. I've never seen it. A house, and they'll be able to take little clips, but I may not get it perfect. So the way they talk is in four different ways. First way is signs and symbols. He will pull out these signs and symbols that I've created over like the last 20 years. He may show me something like a pineapple really quickly. That for me means yes, it can mean that they like pineapple, but mostly that means that they're from Florida. And he'll put all these symbols in a line. I'll say some weird shit and then I'll tell you what I think it is. The second thing is they talk in feelings. That's what he's doing right now. So every single thing that we've done or seen has a feeling attached to it. So like walking around, picking up wood for me, I always get freaking splinters. So he made me feel what it was like to pick up wood that's been chopped. And then he made me feel the heat of a burn pile or a campfire. That's how I came up with that. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing
Okay.
is like if somebody passed of being taken off life support, he'll bring up the feeling of when my dad died and I took him off life support. So it's all very personal. The third way is that they will try to take any memory that I've had in my life, YouTube videos, other sessions, anything, and he'll clip out little bits and pieces of it, kind of smash them together and try to tell me the story through that. And then the last thing is that he will talk in words. So sometimes I may be like, all right, somebody just said Mike. What's up with Mike? And you're like, Mike is, my husband. I'm like, bingo. So he's trying to recognize Mike or he's trying to talk about Mike. Remember as well that they do talk about people that are dead and they do talk about people that are alive. So don't like just cut it out for that. But if they're not going to bring up a name of somebody that's like a fifth cousin that you haven't talked to in 15 years. That doesn't have any point to it. The other thing too is remember I haven't seen, felt, and experienced or heard every name. So there are some names that are just not in my repertoire or that I don't know. And so they will come
Yeah.
across as like an MI name. You're like, oh, well, there's Michaela. And I'm like, that works,
Okay.
right? Okay, so just stay with me. The other thing too is how can he see you? So when you cross over, you don't go anywhere. Yes, you go to heaven. Yes, you go to a higher vibrational state. Yes, God is real. Jesus is real. I mean, all those things are absolute real. But like right now, you're still a spirit but you're looking out into your experience in a body. So you're still in the spirit world, but yet you're here. And so when you cross over, what happens is obviously your body can't hold on to it anymore, but now you're just in the spirit world, but you can still see, feel, and experience things. And the way that they can experience things is they can actually come in and they can use your computer or your body to re-feel, re-see, and re-experience things as well. So if you've ever been eating something that maybe was his favorite, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, weird. Like, yeah, this was his favorite. It's because he's in your head and he's reminding you, yes, this was my favorite. He can re-experience
Wow,
that with you.
cool.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how that works. So just stay with me. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm also gonna turn on my spirit box. And then the last thing
All right.
you're no, you're fine. And then the last thing is that usually I have my little REM pod on, but my last client, her person drained my battery. And so I have my little motion sensor cat balls on over here. You can't really see them, but if there's a disco party happening back here, it means that he's touched them.
Okay.
Okay. So watch out for it. So boom, that's my spirit box. Come back here. Tell me. Oh, does John have anything to do with you?
Well, I was gonna, with him maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Who's John? Who's that?
Is it John Paul?
I don't know. Like earlier, I wrote down the name John.
Oh wow.
John. My writing's terrible, but this is a J, this is an O, this is an H, this is an N. And so what is John?
John Paul is his cousin.
Oh, interesting. Hang on. He had a rough time. Okay, what did he have a rough time on? Hang on. Hold on. Weird.
What did he say?
What does John need to get his shit together? Or like
I don't
what's
know.
okay, it's
Can
okay.
you ask James what happened to him? Like we don't know what happened to him.
With James or with John? With
Well,
James?
James, yeah.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. Hold on. We're gonna work our way in. Hang on, give me a second. Hang on. Tell me. I'm gonna see if we can get there.
That's weird that he's saying John.
Yeah. Well,
John,
that's
John
what they
Paul.
do. But John Paul is alive though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hang on. John and him are about the same age.
Yes.
Okay, I said like I have a cousin, he's 6 years older than me. And so I'm like, okay. And he says, no, no, no. He says, we're like neck and neck. I go, okay. Hold on. Why? So w- w- I'm asking him about his passing. He's going to take me about 10 different places at the same time. So we're going to get there as well, believe me, but he's going to be bouncing around different places. Do you have a brother as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm. And so you do love him, but he's frustrating?
Who, my brother?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, I have a few brothers.
Oh, okay, gotcha. She goes like this. He's talking about how um he showed me an image. If somebody says, this is just something you'd hear back then, like, oh my god, I love you so much but I want to wrangle your neck, like that whole thing. So that means like,
Yeah.
I love you so much but like you're frustrating. I don't know, it could be something going on right now, it could be he's just trying to talk about the dynamic. There's a one that's younger than you. You have a
Yes.
little one. Okay, he's talking about a little one and I go, okay, so younger than you. And hang on, come here, what happened? Hold on. Where? Mm, weird. Did we end up finding James like just like dead in his bedroom? Did we end up finding him like just dead out in where he was living at?
I'm not exactly sure where they found him.
Okay, because he's talking about how I don't think that this was um hardcore murder or anything. I didn't feel like that necessarily. Hang on.
What'd you say?
Somebody said the word murder, which is weird. Um, but then he feels alone. So I don't know. I don't think those two things can go together. Unless, do we know if there was a guy that was with him before he ended up passing?
We don't know because nobody was telling us anything.
Mm. I think there was some sort of I call them gentlemen, but obviously if somebody's in charge of like somebody's passing, they're not a gentleman. Okay. So just know that's just what I say. But like there's some guy that was around him. Hang on. But James was making his own money though. Like he was still working. Like he was working at that point, correct? Yeah. He says, I was making my own. I wasn't just living at home being a do nothing. I was like doing stuff. I go, oh, okay, good. And hang on. Hang on. Where? Hold on. Was he like living in like an apartment attached to somebody's house? Do you know?
Um, I don't think so.
Okay, weird. Where was he living at? What was the living
Well,
situation for that?
well, James had his own house, but
He had his own house.
where he like died, like they were in a different town and
Ah.
they're not telling us like anything. So, I mean, I know like what I know and like from the pictures and from going out there and like trying to put it all
It's
together,
very
but
fishy. There's a very fishy thing that goes along with this. And he's
yeah.
talking about how he says he had his own place, but then he keeps talking about either where he died or where he was at was
Yeah.
like an offshoot of something. And that's why I'm like, did he
Yeah.
die in a place that was off of a house? Like, I don't know what that is. And since I haven't been everywhere, that sometimes can get
What
difficult.
maybe like what if you're saying like off of a house, like maybe was it like a like if somebody had like a trailer parked in front of their house
Yes,
like that?
yes, absolutely. Yeah, because for me, since I've never been in a trailer before and I've never been in like a mobile trailer, an actual trailer, so people do live or they rent spots on trailers, right? And so it's right off of a house. So I would have to say that's probably where
But
that is.
there was also
Yeah.
like a house that somebody was staying in. I don't know if he was or not, but that was like right by where they put him.
Uh-huh. Where they found, uh-huh. So I'm gonna have to say all that. Yeah. Yeah. He tell
But
me, but yeah, he keeps
that's two
talking.
different places, so it could be
That's
either.
okay. That's hold on. Let's get into that. But yeah, he keeps talking about an offshoot of a home. So that could be the trailer thing. Tell me. Yeah, he's like kind of like mad at some sort of guy. Hang on. The only thing he keeps making me feel, and this is just from me feeling things like this before, is it's staged. Or somebody staged something.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
so they may have like staged to like to think. Did we stage to think that it was a suicide, but like it's not? It's like an actual
Yeah,
murder.
that's what they
Yeah.
did.
That's what they keep talking about, and he says, like, "No, these fucking assholes, like, killed me, or this one guy had this ringleader that killed me," and then he's talking about how they made it seem like I put the bullet in myself or something, and he's talking about how fucked up this is, or, like, that he killed
Yeah.
himself, but you're,
But he didn't kill himself, right?
no, no, he didn't kill
No.
himself. No, because he's not in a lower vibrational state. He's not heavy. He's in heaven. He's okay. And when let me teach you about that real quick. So when you cross over, whatever you embody, whatever you are here, that is to which you'll match. So when people get so low that they take their own life, and I have read people that have taken their own life and they're in heaven, and it's usually because they were chronically ill or they, like they couldn't get insurance, like they were fucked to begin with. But he does not have depression like we think. He does not have any of that. And he's in heaven. He's in a higher vibrational state, which means that he didn't do this. And because he mentioned murder right off the bat and suspicious, I can tell you from reading like 10,000 people, this is absolutely murder.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All the way. And Tell me.
Like I knew
Hang on.
that, I know that, Amy, but I just can't prove it, you know?
I know. Do you know why you know that? Because
Because
he's told
because
you.
I just yeah.
That's why. That's why, because he's told you that he's coming. That's why also why you have this session, because he's like, I need to give this to you. I need to give this to you. I need to tell this to you. I need you to know that you're not crazy. I need you to know that it's here. So then the next big question is, where do you go from here? What do you do with it? Um, hold on. Hang on. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, they'll let you know everything right off the bat. Hold on. He's I wonder if somebody had a black eye. I wonder if there were 3 people that were actually involved in this besides him. I wonder if James punched one of these people in the eye.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
I don't because he's talking about how he showed me an image, or he showed me a movie in my brain of like when I've watched Cops, and they go to the husband's house and he's like, no, we weren't fighting, and he has this like big black eye, right? Like there's
Yeah.
obviously a lie with that. And he's talking about how, hang on, weird, somebody's dad is involved, or there was like an older guy, meaning like over 40, that was involved. I
Yeah.
think there's 3 people. I think there's 3 people. There's one main person that I think was a friend. It feels closer. It doesn't just feel like this is like a random act of violence. This is like plotted against. This is a friend. This is somebody he knows. And then the other 2 people know this other person, but they're like plotting with them. Um, hold on. But they didn't take his credit cards or anything like that, correct?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. Because I said, what were they doing? Did they steal from you? What did they take? Did they take your card? Did they take your money? Did they take your wallet? Like, what is that? And he goes, no, 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 no. That was all left there. You have to remember I deal with a lot of different ones. So these are all the different things to
Yeah.
like that I asked first. And he says that, why? Um, did somebody end up hanging him?
Yes. They hung him and made him look like it was a suicide.
That's what he says. I said, "So where did you shoot yourself at, or what was this going on?" I said, he says, "No, Amy." And I said, "What?" And he says, "I was out, I was dead." And he goes and he makes me hear. So think about the other end.
Yeah, they hung him up with a water hose and made it look
What
like
the
like in a pasture, like in the middle of nowhere, like in Alpine, in the mountains, in the freaking desert. Like it's literally insane. It's like a movie.
Yeah, that is like that's what he's talking about, people doing this, and
Yeah,
he's already
and
dead
it
at
took
this
it. It
point.
was a bunch of them to be able to do that. Like, yeah, he's my little brother.
He's your little brother.
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah.
Oh, that's him. Yeah, because he kept saying little brother, little brother. I'm like, who's the little brother? And he never told me that's him. And hang on, where?
So I just feel like I'm going crazy, like, but I'm
No,
obviously not.
no, honey, you're not going crazy at all. He's with you, he's talking to you, he's telling you about it. Weird. Was he out there like doing like ranch hand work or oil field work, or what was he doing?
No, it was a wedding. It was his friend's wedding.
That's the friend. Ah, okay. He showed me an image of, and I know it's not Montana, but he showed me an image of Yellowstone. And I was like, what? I was like, maybe he's out there doing range hand stuff. So tell me, that would be the drinking. That's why there's drinking involved. Okay, because the wedding thing was happening. And I'm gonna have to say that somebody got very drunk and they ended up taking his life and they wanted to cover up. I think that there was a fight involved. Multiple people didn't care or they got into this. They made a pact. And after he ended up dying, I also did they ever talk about how they found like bruises on his head at all? Did they
No, they
say
wouldn't
anything
let us.
about
They
that?
wouldn't let us. They wouldn't let us see his body. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
The wedding was like this. It was the family was all law enforcement.
That's why. Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah, he
this was like a while. I mean, this was like years and years and years ago. But still, it feels like it was yesterday to me.
well, it is. It is yesterday. He hang on. When? Was this like 2011, 2013? When was this?
Yeah,
Do you remember what year?
I have to look.
You're okay.
13. 13.
Good job. I go like this. I said, when did this happen? So what he does, the way he talks and
It's
talks about
weird
the
that I
dates.
should like know that off the top of my head, but I think it's because I think it's like from like the trauma of it that I like
Yeah.
literally don't know
You
the
block
year.
you block it out. It's a, well, he told me, he said the year that I died was the year your son was born. My son, he died, he was born in 2013.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, that's how they do. They do the big things in my life, and that's how they're able to show me what year it was. If I don't have anything big on that year, they'll usually bring up a song in my head, and I'll look it up, and that's the year that something like this happened. So that's how they talk. So that's also how they talk to you as well. And hold on, tell me, what about it? What happened? Hold on. Yeah, so when I asked him, I said, "Well, what type of proof can we get? What type of proof can we bring forward for this to happen?" And he says, "None." He said it's like all washed away or it's all gone essentially. And it makes sense now because it's so many years ago. Um, it may be in the future that somebody comes forward and snitches.
That's what I'm hoping for, you know.
I I think it will be a thing, but I
It's
think
just
that
like
we're
so
looking at
like traumatizing that they like literally made it look like he killed himself and we all knew he did it. And
yeah,
just for him just to like make him seem like he did that and when he did it, it's like literally horrible, you
it
know?
is. Yeah, yeah. Those are terrible people. Those are not friends. Those are not, and your brother didn't do that. Your brother had somebody murder him. I think what ended up happening, just from what he is, I think he was drunk. I think they were all having a good time. I think somebody got into a fight or they didn't like how he was looking at somebody or they didn't like there was just some sort of bad blood. And I think they got into a fight and somebody punched him in his head or punched him in his face. Or he fell out. There's something to do with like a head injury. And this said head injury is the thing that killed him. And instead of going through and saying, oh my God, I murdered him and I didn't mean to, or I murdered him and I didn't mean for it to go that far, they went out, they strung him up and they covered it up.
Yep.
Okay.
How does that not just like eat at them every day?
They will usually either drink or what will probably end up happening is one of these people will commit suicide in the future.
Well, that's not what he would want, you know?
Well, it
Yeah.
does. It eats at them, but it's a slow eat. And another thing is you have to remember that men, they're really good at encapsulating their feelings and kind of keeping it to themselves. But at some point, that's going to boil up to the surface, and it's either going to come with them taking their own life, or it's going to show up as they have to talk to somebody, and that's when that's going to come out. Okay, it's just a matter of time, though. And why? No wonder he was with you doing wood. That makes so much sense now. And you were outside of Tyler in East Texas?
I was like close to Mount Pleasant, kind of like a little in the middle of
Oh.
nowhere. Yeah, we
Ah.
had to burn a lot of trash because me and my boyfriend, we our ex-boyfriend, we were like moved to this place and the couple had like died, so we were like cleaning out everything out of their house and like the whole place was like It had just been abandoned pretty much. So we were like burning all the trash. Like, so we made like this
Mhm.
huge burn pile. I mean, like massive. So when you said that, I was like, wow. But I was like, he's never been there. But I guess that makes sense that he was like hanging out with me.
Yeah, well, because so the way that he died, he wasn't able to give closure to anybody. He wasn't able to come forward and say, I love you. So when I find people that are murdered or their murders were unsolved or they didn't have this type of closure, they will come and they will hang out with their family for years. Now, just to know, for you to know that years don't exist over there. So when I'm talking to him and he's taking me through when he passed, am I talking? This is where my mind goes. Bleh, am I talking to him at the point of his passing?
Yeah.
You know, is he just taking me back? Because everything happens now. Okay. So I don't want you to think he's stuck. He's able to be with God. Apparently your grandmother. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. So you're not like Rainy May or anything like that, right? What's your
No,
middle name? Or
Deanne.
who's your Anne? You're Rainy Anne.
No, Deanne.
Oh,
No, Deanne. But are you trying to think of like somebody with like a middle name?
yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. What is that about?
Is it my grandmother?
Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh, is it? I have two of them, so
Okay. Yeah, I would have to say one of them, the one that's trying to come through is going more on mom's side.
my Granny Lee.
The great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because somebody keeps talking about it's a single syllable. Like if somebody
Mhm.
calls them May or if somebody calls them Anne. And since I don't know anybody named Lee, Lee is a man's name in my brain. So I would be like
Yeah.
all the way. And so
Yeah.
your grandmother on your mom's side is with your brother and is hanging out
Awesome.
and absolutely adores you as well. And oh, did you lose a male dog that you really, 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 really liked? That you
Yes.
loved? Okay,
Love.
I hear you, I hear you. It's like, I can hear you and I can feel the feeling of rubbing a dog and saying like, "That's a good boy. That's a good oh, I love you. Oh, you're my big boy." And your brother is just like, "Hey, by the way, I got him too." Okay?
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, he's talking about how so you would let this I mean, even though the dog took up a lot of the bed, you would let him sleep with you?
Yeah.
Okay, because he's making me feel the space, and I have you say like "Good morning," and you can hear this, so like a dog head. And why? Oh, it's time. It's time. So with him, did you end up having to put him down like around 13? Like, did he end up getting like old like that?
No, I think he's talking about Ninja.
Oh,
Unless he's talking about his dog. He's talking about my dog.
yeah, yeah. What happened with that?
I had a dog. I had a blue pit bull named Ninja that I like loved, and like so my brother got murdered, and then right after that, my dog got hit by a car.
He got hit by a car.
Yeah, like right after that. So it was
Oh, so no wonder
like
they would
right.
be together. It's
Yeah,
it's trauma after trauma. It's all
yeah.
together. So I would have to say that's one of the reasons why your brother is bringing him up. So he's saying, "I'm here. Ninja's here. He's on." And you can hear him moan. I can tell you he's a short hair, and obviously we know he's a pit bull now. And tell me, hang on.
Yeah, he always like the dog like would like talk, like he always did that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep, it's a thing. Who had you never had rabbits though, right?
No.
Okay, interesting. It just said rabbit on my spirit box. That's the only reason. And I said, "Did she have those?" And he goes, "No, no, no, no." And hold on. Unless there's a Jessica, is there a Jessica related to you or a Jess around you?
Um, I mean, Jessica would be John Paul's sister, James's cousin. Like we're half
Oh,
brother and sister.
I like how the two names that they're dropping are literally the brother and
That's
sister of
literally
them.
their brother and sister. But she's not my cousin because it's like my James's dad's side. But they're
Uh-huh.
his cousins.
That's why. Okay. Yeah, because he showed
And
me
she was
rabbit.
like,
What, Tom?
yeah, she was like all like for like helping us find out what happened to him, and then she talked to her brother, and then she just like went silent because I'm pretty sure he probably told her what happened
Uh-huh. Yeah.
to John
Yeah, yeah,
Paul.
yeah. Uh-huh. So John Paul is kind of the suspect because he was there.
Well, yeah, I mean him and a bunch of people because it was a wedding, but
Oh,
he went.
he
He was always,
went.
yeah, they were all there.
That
Yeah.
okay. So let's just break this down for a second. For me, knowing how spirits talk and
So
how
you're
you
probably
talk on
he's
the other
probably
side.
saying that like Jessica knows because John Paul told her because it's his sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And they showed me, they said rabbit on here, and then I go, oh, but did you have rabbits? And they go, no. And then they changed it into Jessica Rabbit, right? Like the character. And for me, that means focus on Jessica. Now, real
Okay.
quick, hold on. Let's look a little bit deeper into that. Hang on. Um, hold on. Hang on. Wow. Do you know what Jessica Rabbit was? Like what she was? She was literally says it on here. Jessica Rabbit is a fictional character from Roger the Rabbit that
Yeah.
knew information to
Oh,
frame Roger on what
weird.
he did. She was sent out. She was take on the cheeky tale of femme fatale, and she knows more information than what was led on by her character and how she looks.
Crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that was his
Uh,
big cut. His that was John Paul's big older sister, and like they all went like golfing. I thought that they hit him in the head with a golf club because I don't know. I just like seen it in my
yes,
dream.
that's the head. That's the head thing. That's the head thing.
But they wouldn't give us his golf clubs, and I think that John Paul like took them to Jessica because we were like, "Where's his golf clubs?" And they were like, "Jessica has them," and I think he like took them to her so like she would have them and not give them to us.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Is that
remember,
what you're?
there's a reason everything's
Yeah,
said. Everything is
yeah.
brought through. And hang on. Who? When? What happened in April? What was April?
I'm not
And
sure.
okay, interesting. Who has the April birthday? Who's that? Or who's the March Aries or Pisces
Um,
Aries?
I'm not sure.
Okay, interesting. Somebody keeps flashing April, 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 and I don't think it was the wedding. Don't know what that is. That may have something to do with Jessica herself. And tell me, hold on,
I'm gonna think.
why? Hang on. Weird. Was your brother born in like 92?
Um, I think so. I should know this. Yeah.
It's okay.
How
Wait, he
he
was?
said that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I know the day, I should know the year.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah. I asked him,
insane.
I said, "How old were you?" I said, "Can you tell me?" I go, "I was born in 88." I said, "Can you tell me?" He says, "God." He says, "Shit, I'm not as old as you." I said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, when is it?" I said, "Are 89?" He said, "No." And he goes, 92. I go, "Really? Really?" He goes, "Yeah." So that whole conversation, that's literally what was said in my brain. That happened in a
He,
quarter of a second.
yeah, he had just turned 21 when that happened, when they killed.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so the reason why I'm telling you all this too is we're going through his passing, but I'm just letting you know, like this is how he talks. So you'll get all of this information in a millisecond. And then it's your job and you do this when you're zoned out, when you're not paying attention, when you're in the shower, when you're driving, because that's all forms of like zoning out. Okay. And then that's when they're able to like pop things in your brain or right before you go to bed or right before you wake up. Okay, so that's when he shows up, but he can tell you an entire story in a second.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you're not crazy. And so I implore you to write this stuff down. And then if you ever have any questions, be like, Amy, he showed me this. Like, could you tell me what that means? And what we'll do is we'll walk it through. And here's a quick example. So I had a session with, or I was teaching my class, my introduction to channeling course. And then I had a friend that I was trying to teach them how to channel off of. He was dead. And he ended up dying because he snorted a thing of cocaine and it had fentanyl in it. And so one of my students goes through and he starts getting information. And he was like, weird. I keep seeing snow, but I know that he didn't die in the snow. Like, I don't
Oh, got
get that.
you.
And
Yeah.
snow looks
Yeah.
like, okay. So we think outside the box of that. So hold on. Let me ask him. We're going to try to raise the vibration a little bit. So we're going to raise up the feelings in the room to try to make it more
I'm
happy.
trying
And
to think when
tell
his
me.
I'm trying to think when his son was born, because his son was just a
Oh,
baby when it happened. And I'm not sure when his birthday is. I don't
oh,
think it's in April.
is he a
No, it's
May
not.
baby? Who's the Taurus?
God, I would have to look on my phone to see their
Okay,
birthday.
look it up. Miss Rainey, you really need to prepare for our session better. No, I'm messing with you. Don't. You're good. Um, hold
Uh,
on. Somebody said peanut butter. Okay, hold on.
I'm
Hold
not
on. Hold on.
sure.
You're okay. Yeah, just I mean, and anything that you get when you rewatch this session back, email me if you want to send me
Okay.
confirmations. Okay. I
Yeah,
love to
he
read them.
I wanted to know if there's anything he wanted me to tell his kids.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go into that. Oh, interesting. So he has like three altogether.
He has two, but
Oh,
um,
okay. What's the third
but
one?
I think
How
that I
does
think I think that there's a third one that like I think his ex or his wife had an abortion, I think.
okay,
Was that
that's okay.
you would see
Yeah,
that too, right? Yeah.
absolutely. He goes like this. I said, "How many kids did you have?" I said, "Three, four, five." He says, "No." He says, "I got three altogether." And I go, "Okay, so that would also count." Okay,
Yeah.
and tell me, hold on. Uh, what? Interesting. So she is with another guy? Like she's remarried to somebody right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I said, "Is she by herself? How's that going?" He goes, "No, no, no. She got with somebody else. Yeah, he's a good guy. Like, we like him." I go, "Well, that's
Yeah,
good." I said,
we like him.
"Uh-huh." I said, "Most of the time people don't like him and they're like, 'Oh, I wish they wouldn't be freaking married.'" And I go, "Okay, well, this is happy." And he's saying that he was in charge of making them meet. He was in charge of, did she knew about him? I mean, they weren't dating or anything, but like she knew him before he crossed? The
Who?
wife? The wife knew the guy that
Oh,
she was dating before
I'm
she
not sure because
crossed?
I'm not sure because my brother has his kid's mom and they were like not officially married, but they were like together their whole lives. And then
Yeah.
he had a new wife that he married, and like 4 months later is when they killed him. And all those people that they were at the wedding, those were all her friends. So we're talking about two different wives. So the one that has his kids, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But they both have new guys. So
They do. Okay, so let's talk about that. Hold on. Your brother was definitely murdered. 100%. Hang on. Tell me who. Okay, I'm just going to tell you one thing funny. He's talking about. Okay, I have no other way of saying this besides your brother is just talking about how he influenced the election. I have no idea why. Like, there's just like, I think there's a joke surrounding that. Like, he's
I don't
joking.
know.
He's trying to say how powerful he is. And I'm like, what? He's
I
like,
don't know.
and I'm like, all right. They don't bring anything like that up. So that's why I was like, this is weird. And he, what? Hold on. What about your kiddos? Tell me. Hold on. So he has one of each. So he has a son and a daughter?
Mhm.
Ah, okay. I said, "So are they 2 girls, 2 boys, or what?" He says, "No, no, no." He says, "See, I have one of me," and he says, I have a daughter as well." And I go, "Okay, so like son and that." And he's talking about Tell me. Uh, the two kids, like mom lives in an actual house though, not an
Hmm.
apartment at that. Okay. I said, where do they live? Do they live in an apartment, townhome, condo? So he's building the story in my head. He goes, no, 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 no. They have a house. They have enough room to run. I said, good. And hang on, hold on. 13. Um, Oldest is about to be 14.
I think so. I think that's how old she is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I said, I have a
She was
12-year-old. I said,
she was little when this happened, and she's still like pretty traumatized. And then the little boy, he was like a week or two old, and he hadn't even got to meet him yet. Yeah.
that's why she had just, okay. Cause he was talking about the last time he saw his wife or the last time he saw this woman, she was pregnant or she was very, very big and, or that. Okay. That's
Yeah.
that.
Well, the last time he
And
saw her, she was pregnant. Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's why. Yep. And tell me, loves the 14-year-old or about to be 14. He's just keeps saying, like, dad's watching her. Dad's watching her. Who? Candy. Candy what? Hang on. Do we have a this is probably going to be a no, or I'm going to need you to think outside the box later. We don't have a nickname for the kids that involves like a food or like a candy or something?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
His mom would know better than I would.
Okay, I'd say ask if you want to and let me know. Just because somebody said, "Hey, sweets," and they showed me Sour Patch Kids, and they showed me a sucker, then they showed me a cupcake, and I go, "I know you're not obsessed with these things," but then he's applying it to the daughter. Unless the daughter is going to have a party pretty soon, or like a birthday pretty soon, or like just had one or the other, and he could be mentioning that and like trying to bring that up. Hold on, tell me why. Is somebody named Rose? Or does somebody have a middle name of Rose?
I don't think so. Not that I know
Okay.
of.
Okay, somebody made me taste rose in my brain, like taste the flavor of rose. They make it a Middle Eastern food all the time. But I go, do we name her that? And they go, no, but they talked about being a nickname. So keep that in the back of your head. That's usually an older person's name. Hold on. Come here. What about them? Hang on. He just wants to say that he loves his kids and he watches them and he hangs out with them. And do we have the son? Was the son too small for football? Do we not have him in football right now?
Um, he plays soccer. I don't
He plays
think he,
soccer.
yeah, I
Okay.
don't think he's really sweet. I don't know if he's much of a he would be good at football. He's really sweet.
That's okay. That's okay. I go like this. I said, I know Texas. I said, so do you have him in football? He goes, no, no, he wasn't cut out for football. And I go,
Yeah,
oh, okay. I said,
he's too sweet. I mean, he has my brother's temper, so he probably could, but he's just a really sweet kid, you know.
yep,
Football is like more like the mean boys, you know. He's not really like that.
that's why, because he's very kind and he's very nice. And why? Do we have weird? Hold on.
He might have been counting my daughter as three because he helped raise my daughter, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah. But she's what, 18 now?
22.
Oh, she is older. He goes like this. I said, how old is she? Is she 16 or what? He goes, no, no, no. She's an adult. She's already legal. And I go, oh, okay. We never had her in riding lessons though, but we like had her around horses or like, what was
Yeah,
up with that?
yeah.
Ah, okay. He
My
likes her.
mom
He's
and
talking
her and
about
him used to ride horses. Yeah.
that would be why, because he's making me touch them. And he says, we didn't, I said, did she do barrel racing? And he goes, no, he says, but we had her around her. It just said a lot on my spirit box. Tell me, but mom is still alive though, correct? Yes.
Hmm.
Hang on. And so mom has talked to you about having dreams about him?
Yes. And
Really?
something happened the other day too. She was telling me about. I was
Oh,
going to ask you. Obviously, he's there because he's telling you everything. But she
yeah.
wanted to know if it was him.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
like
What
woke up
happened?
and yeah, he was
What
messing with
happened?
her. She just like woke up and um he used to always like twirl my mom's hair. He would play with her hair. And she said
Mhm.
she literally like felt like the twirling and she knew it was
Uh-huh.
him.
Mhm. Yeah, that would absolutely, because he goes like this. He says, "Mom."
He
I said,
loved my
"What?"
mom's hair.
Eh, oh, yes, he does, and he loves her, and he says, "Tell my mom I said hi." I said, "Why?" He says, "I jump in her brain." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he says, "Dreams," or he says, like, these moments of seeing him and experiencing him. So just let her know that that's all real. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, everything is vibration, everything is energy. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotion. If you look at your hand, all and you break it down, you're just protons, neutrons, and electrons. Like that's all you are. You're just energy. And so when he comes through, he can come through and he can mess with anything. Okay.
That's so cool though.
Yeah, isn't it nifty? And so when you think, just also with you, the more you think about him, the stronger the connection is, right? Like
Oh
putting
wow.
two wires together, you create a current. So if you have your necklace on, if you put a picture up of him, if you talk to him, you're creating that and you'll feel him more. You're going to get goosebumps. You'll probably hear his voice in your head. You'll like start to see the signs all throughout the day, which can be anything. Like ask him to show you a
Like all the
Tyrannosaurus
pennies
Rex.
and the dimes
Yes.
everywhere. He's always putting them
Yes.
everywhere and like
Yes.
insane. And in this old apartment
Yeah.
I lived in, or this old house, I used to find tennis balls. They were like everywhere, like in the most
Tennis balls.
random places, like the most random, like you don't understand, like so many tennis balls. And I was telling my friend Claire about it, and so she was like picking up her son from private school, and there was like a tennis
Yeah.
ball in the middle of like downtown Dallas, like in uptown. Like there's no way there would be a tennis ball like in the middle of the road. And she was like,
Mhm.
because I told her my brother was doing that. I was like, I know it's him doing this. And then he did it
Uh-huh.
to her. How do
Uh-huh.
they
Do you know why
get
he did
them?
it to her?
No.
So the reason why he did it to her is because she was going to call you and tell you, and it would be
Yes, he
so
did.
different or so random that it would make you go, "Holy shit, that's weird."
Yeah.
Okay? So you asked me, "How does he do that?" Is that what you just asked?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens? So again, go back to looking at your hand, right? So protons, neutrons, electrons. Other than that, besides that energy and that vibration, your light, it's a bunch of empty space. And everything is frequency, essentially. If you went through, they actually have tools that if you put like a certain clip on like this metal table is going to vibrate or make a sound differently than my phone, than my body. Okay. So everybody's on a different frequency. When you're on the other side, you can manipulate energy. Nothing is actually solid. And so when you start thinking about it, you start connecting with them, as long as you give them time, because that's how this universe works. You can ask them for anything, you can tell them to send you signs, but there is a thing of time. You have to wait for it. So what will happen is that they will essentially either they'll materialize it, so they'll make it show up, or the other thing is that they're going to put you in a path that makes you find it.
Yeah, like he one time I was like having to keep air up my tire and I was like so
Yeah.
stressed out and it was like I was like in the middle of nowhere and I went to this gas station and the gas station was closed so I couldn't like get quarters and I didn't have any quarters and it didn't have the credit
Yeah.
card thing and I walked around to the back of my tire and I was like on my phone and I was like crying and I looked down and there was like four quarters like right
Oh.
stacked where the tire was and I said okay James and I just like started laughing and I felt
Uh-huh.
like he was just like right there with me and he was like it was insane.
It's true. So when you laughed, what that's doing, the reason why they send you signs is because they're trying to raise your vibration up. They're trying to get you to what you are, which is love. That's a heavenly state, all that stuff. And so what happens is when they do that, it raises you up. It makes you go, ha, and they can connect with you better. And then you feel love. Now, as you feel these signs, I'm just teaching you how to feel your brother as well. As you feel these signs, what you'll get is you'll get that lifting feeling. That's your
Mhm.
brother. All
Yeah.
right. That's his signature. I also want you to try the whole thing. I always teach people how to do this. It's my signs and symbols game. So remember, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions are the connection. That's the channel. That's like right now with me, I'm zoning out. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm asking him to come through, and then he's essentially putting stuff in my head. So what you do is before you go to bed, you turn off your phone, you're laying there, you're quiet, and you start remembering some really good memories of him. Okay. Things that may even make you cry, but not sad. Okay, always happy. So you're creating this channel, you're plugging in. Then what I want you to do is I want you to say, James, I would like you to show me X. So ask for a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's what I want you to ask for. So say, James, can you please show me a T-Rex? And I want you to envision it in your brain. What does it look like? What does it sound like? All of that. And say, can you please show it to me in the next 2 days? And I know that you're with me. Because what did I say? It takes time, right? And then I want you to either text your mom or write it down somewhere because it's proof for you. Okay. The time, the date, and everything like that. And then somebody just made me taste chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. And then what will end up happening is over the next couple of days, you're going to go on about your normal day life, and a stupid Tyrannosaurus Rex is going to show up. It's going to either be maybe on the TV, on your phone. You may go to, I don't know, Sam's or Costco, and you're standing in line, and the gentleman in front of you checking out is like, Pam, go get the one with the T-Rex on it. Okay, there's a reason for that. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get that uplifting feeling and you're going to go, no fucking way. And then what you do is you go back to your notepad or your phone, you write down where it happened at, take a picture of it if you can, and then you do it all over again, but then you change the symbol.
That's cool.
Yes. And so it's a game. They want you to be happy. And so then you know that he's there with you all the time.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna
And
do
then
it.
let me know. Yeah, please. And then let me know what you get. Hold on. Tell me where. Mm, Yeah, I'm gonna have to say John and Jessica definitely know about it, like 190%.
Is that what
Um,
he's saying to you? He keeps saying that
mhm,
to you?
mhm. Yeah, this is what, so I just look, so I'm talking to you and I'm zoning out, and all of a sudden my eyes dart down to John again. There's a reason why my eyes got pulled down to John. And I said, why do you want me to talk about John? And then he showed me John and Jessica Rabbit, and he said, they know, they know, they know, they know. And I go, okay, so just confirming. And do you have a cavity in your back?
Um, I have like I have like no big teeth, so I have like a
Oh,
no tooth was
a
supposed no
bridge?
so no, I have like a implant
Oh,
to get a fake tooth over it. You know what I'm talking about?
can I tell you something real quick? So
What?
these these are fake. These are implants.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
in
I
my
just haven't got
mouth.
the implant over it, but I have the metal like yeah,
You have
haven't
that
got the
there.
tooth over it. Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. Okay, how interesting. So and he showed me like a metal color. So I was like, well, maybe she has
Yeah,
like a
it's just
filling.
metal.
Uh-huh.
That's so
Yeah.
weird
So
when
just wait.
he even knows that.
Well, yeah, well, he's with you all the time. And so I'm asking him things. I said, tell me something that nobody knows. That's what I'm asking him to do right now. And
Oh,
why? And so since he's rubbing my teeth and these four, because my molars crack, so I've had to get implants every single time, like a nice $5,000 a year experience, right? For those stupid things. And
yeah.
why? Where? Did you get a tattoo of him here?
Me? Yes.
Yeah.
It's right
Oh,
here.
oh, it's that. Oh, it's the cross. Oh, okay. I like it. I like it. Yeah, he goes like this. He says, tell her, thank you for the tattoo. I said, what do you
Oh,
mean?
wow.
He says, it's big. It goes on her arm. And I go, oh, okay. So know that he knows.
He had the same one on his arm, but I put his initials in it.
Oh my God, it's in there. Yep. There you
Yeah.
go. That's what that is.
Wow.
Where? So he could shoot. He could shoot deer. He could shoot wild hog. I wonder
Yes.
if he ever shot an axis. That's interesting. Who had the deer lease that he would go on? Was that a friend or who was that?
Um, well, the person that he used to always hunt with, that was the person that he was at his wedding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why that's important. Okay. Because he goes like this. He says, oh, friend, push away. He says hunting. He says lease. He says going out. And I go, okay, so that's that. He definitely knows. And tell me,
Yeah.
hold on. What do you mean? Weird. Go back. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. He's making me see, I think, his hoodies. So were you able to like keep like one of his hoodies? Or what is it? Or like
Yeah,
one of
I
his
have a
bigger
bunch of his.
jackets?
I have a bunch of his clothes.
You do? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. He says, put it on. Put it on. And then he has you going like trying to put it on over your head. And I
Yeah, or
go,
like,
oh,
well, sometimes I
okay.
would get like so much anxiety, and I would just miss him, and I would just like put his shirts on and stuff, and then I would feel better.
That's why. Do you know why? Do you want to know why? So okay, so whatever somebody had that they liked, that was theirs and they wore, essentially you are constantly pulsating with energy. All right. So you have a frequency about you, a whoop, whoop, whoop. And whatever you have and that you love, that kind of like sloths off on it. Okay. Like your energy kind of sloths off on it. And so what ends up happening is when you take it and you wear it, you're partially feeling your brother's energy. It's
Yeah,
becoming part of you.
this is his shirt. You said you liked it.
Yeah, that's why. Okay,
That's
that's why
why he's
you're
saying
putting it
she.
over your head.
Yeah, he said she put my shirt on. Is that what he's saying?
Uh-huh, absolutely. Yeah, because he showed your head popping through. Boop. And I go, okay, so know that he knows about that. Know that he knows about that. And tell me, who? Lariat. What do you mean? Woman.
He said,
Yeah, what's Lariat? What is that? Do they have a Ford?
I don't know. But I have an uncle named Larry. He's in heaven now.
Larry.
My
Yes,
Uncle
okay, that
Larry.
would be a connection. Absolutely, yeah, because he said Larry, and then Ed, and I'm like, Lariat? What does that mean? So yeah, Larry would be with him.
Awesome.
Okay, Larry would be with him. And tell me, she has what? Do you hate your car? Do you like hate your car? Are you pissed off at your
Um,
car?
well, I just like got a little car because I don't have any credit and I was trying to build my credit, so it's like a
Yeah,
little car that I can afford. And then I just
yeah,
had a
get
new
it.
baby. I just had I don't like dislike it, but I just had a new baby and I'm like terrified to put
Yeah,
her in it. So I hate it because I'm like, why did I get this little bitty car?
yeah,
So
I
I
understand that.
but I'm just
Mm.
gonna build my credit for like a year and then I'm gonna trade it in for an SUV. But yeah, I hate it because I can't put her in it.
I
But
understand that.
but I got it for a purpose. But that's funny that he
Yes.
even brought that up.
Yeah, he's driving around with you, and all I hear you is he's making me feel your thoughts, and you're like, hmm, hmm, and he's talking about
It's
how
just so
it's like a
little.
good,
It's just so little. It's
yeah.
like terrifying. It's like a little go-kart, you know?
Oh, go-karts are a thing. Did you end up getting like hang on, wait, did you get like a Nissan?
No, it's a Chevy. I don't even know what it's called. A Spark. It's
A
tiny.
Spark. Okay,
Yeah.
because he showed me a Nissan Versa. You know how they were like little, like
It's
those, and so
little
that's
like
why it's
that.
like,
Yeah. It's
okay,
tiny.
okay. I agree. I remember having my first kid, my only kid, and I had to put him in a back of a two-seater Honda Civic, and it was not only terrible but scary, especially living out in San Angelo where there's all the big trucks all the time and everything like that. I understand what you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, I'm going to tell you that your brother is with you and that he loves you and he is
Thank
around.
you.
He's not
Thank you.
stuck. He's in heaven, but he definitely got murdered.
I know he
Okay.
did.
I know, but I don't want you, this is the whole thing moving forward. God will take care of it down the line. Karma will come to these people that did it. Let me tell you, either it's going to happen in this life or they're going to atone for it later on. There is a place called the middle and the lower vibrational state. Some people call that purgatory. Some people call that hell. Both of those do very much exist. I can attest to that 110%. And from there, they get to sit with their thoughts, their feelings, and what they did until they realize that it was wrong. And then they move up, right? But some people are in such denial that they stay there for a very long time. Okay. The other thing though is that I think that it will end up coming out in the wash, but it's going to be like another 10 years. Okay. And then at that point, it may be that that person's dying, or it may be that they end up, talking about it, then they end up going to jail. Um, why? Was he cremated? Was your brother cremated?
Yeah.
I said, "Could they exhume your body and, like, look over it or what?" And he goes, "No." He says, "Ashes and ashes and dust to dust." I go, "Ah." I said, "Okay, so you're gone. So there's not a point of that." And he goes, "No, it would just be hearsay." And so I'm gonna tell you that I think somebody's gonna end up atoning for it. It's gonna be a little bit, but your brother is going to be with you. And so I want you to easier said than done because we've been in the same pattern for what is that, 13 years now, 14 years now. So I want you to remember your brother for what he did, not just the moment he passed.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, and who he was. And so right now, because I do have to run to my next session, Miss
Yeah,
Rainey,
I
otherwise
know.
they're gonna
I know.
kick my ass. If you ever need me, know me.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so
And if
much.
I and if I get more stuff, I will email you. Okay.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right, baby.
Amy.
I love you. You're welcome.